Good afternoon and welcome to WEFM's 3 p.m. news. I am your presenter, Rajiv Providence. First, on the local scene. Later this year, the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines will look at the regulation as it pertains to the importation of wave runners or jet skis. This will be done with the aim of having them used in zoned locations and with licensed importers, according to Minister of Tourism Carlos James. We hear more from the Tourism Minister.
Later this year, we intend to also look at the regulation as it relates to the importation of wave runners. And as persons will know, jet skis. Not to have them come in and in an unregulated way, but to see how we can zone the locations in which they operate, to have licensed importers, and to have regulations as to how we operate within the sector in terms of these operations.
That was the Minister of Tourism, Carlos James. Minister James encouraged persons within the private sector who may have an interest in offering these types of experiences to both locals and visitors to visit his ministry so that they can work towards getting the necessary concessions and regulatory framework in place. The National Lotteries Authority Inter-Primary Schools Athletic Championships heats are now underway at the Sir Vincent Beach National Stadium at Diamond. Primary schools around the country have been grouped into 4 zones, with the Zone A set to start the process of qualifying for the championship day on March 29th. Zone A consists of schools between Argyle and Fancy. On Thursday, March 2nd, it will be the turn of schools in Zone C, which will be the schools on the leeward side of the country from Cattels to Fitzhughes, inclusive of the Beckway Anglican Primary School. Tuesday, March 7th, will be the turn of Zone B, which consists mainly of schools in the Belair and Maricourt areas, along with the Southern Grenadines, and Zone D, the schools in Kingstown and its environs, along with the Mustique and Paget Farm government schools, will have their heats on Thursday, March 9th. Still on the local scene, Minister of Agriculture Subota Caesar has called out those here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines who are overcharging for local produce. Minister Caesar, during a call to WEFM's Activated Mornings program earlier today, said that a number of persons are buying the produce at low prices and reselling them at prices that are too expensive. We'll hear more from the Agriculture Minister.
A lot of this food that we have, let us make it affordable for the person who is in the bank working or in the public service working or Crystal who is in studio. Mm-hmm. But I am saying that there are many persons, there are several persons within the country who are trading goods and they're selling the goods too expensive. I am not fearful to say that. I am not fearful because if I could see that when the traffickers take the goods to Trinidad and Tobago, that there are people in Trinidad who are taking the goods from the traffickers under price and selling it for exorbitant amounts of money. Mm-hmm. I could say so that in St. Vincent that there are persons who are moving bananas from Salt Rivers and Diamond where they're buying it cheap. And when they come to Kingstown, they're jacking up the price.
That was the Minister of Agriculture, Subota Caesar. Minister Caesar said this practice of selling goods at exorbitant prices is deterring locals from buying locally produced goods. A release from the Ministry of Agriculture noted that the butternut squash is being bought from farmers for between $2 to $3 per pound and is retailed in some supermarkets for as high as $8 per pound. On to news in the region. Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness has led a special CARICOM mission to Haiti, which was comprised of representatives from the Bahamas, Trinidad and Tobago, as well as the CARICOM Secretariat. The team left for Haiti on Monday and returned that same evening. As part of this mission, the Holness and the CARICOM delegation members had discussions with several critical Haitian stakeholder groups, the Trinidad Guardian reports. Other Jamaican members of the delegation included Jamaica's Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith, and Ambassador Rocky Meade. A 15-member royal delegation from Africa will visit Jamaica this week to hold discussions about how the transatlantic slave trade affected the continent. Sir Hilary Beckles, Vice-Chancellor of the University of the West Indies, the UWI, revealed this as he gave remarks at yesterday's reparations forum in Grenada, where the descendants of Sir John Trevelyan and his wife Louisa Simon apologized for their ancestors' role in the slave trade. Beckles said the arrival of the seven kings and eight queens would continue discussions that started with the Trevelyan's apology. According to Loop News, among the topics to be discussed will include how African monarchs played a role in selling their fellow Africans to colonizers to work as slaves on plantations across the Americas and the Caribbean. Beckles noted the slave trade ravaged many of the African monarchies that prospered for centuries before colonialism. Finally, on the international scene, China has accused the US of overreacting after federal employees were ordered to remove the video app TikTok from government issued phones. On Monday, the White House gave government agencies 30 days to ensure that employees did not have the Chinese owned app on federal devices. The order follows similar moves by the EU and Canada in recent weeks. A spokesperson for China's foreign ministry accused the US of abusing state power to suppress foreign firms. The BBC reports that Western officials have become increasingly concerned about the popular video sharing app, which is owned by Chinese firm ByteDance in recent months. TikTok has faced allegations that it harvests users' data and hands it to the Chinese government, with some intelligence agencies worried that sensitive information could be exposed when the app is downloaded to government devices. This has been WeFM's 3 p.m. News. I have been your presenter, Rajiv Providence. Join us again at 5:30 for WeFM's Evening News, and we thank you for listening.